Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of As Far As You Can Tell. What are you doing? I'm Joe Pope. I'm one of the players. With me here today is
Andrea,
Rachel, Ashley,
JP, sorry.
And our fearless GM, who's going to be putting us through all sorts of trials and tribulations.
Brad.
This is our first episode. This episode we're doing a little bit of background about our characters and the game we're going to be playing and all that. But I'm going to flip it over to Brad, and he's going to lead us through all of this.
Okay, so should we do a character introduction first? How you guys all met each other, and then we'll go from there. And then I'll do the beginning of the story, and then where we are now. Rachel, you'll start because everything connects to you.
Sure. Okay, so I am Vale. I am a noir rogue.
What's noir?
Noir is a race unique to the Zodiac Empires Campaign Setting. They are a shape-shifting, face-changing race. There's a spotlight on our website about them. You could go and look at it right now if you wanted to. Yep, so you could check that out there. But yeah, so I'm a rogue. I live in Isil, which is one of the nations in our world there. And I mostly get by taking on different personalities, and I steal from people and do all kinds of, roguey things. I got mixed up with some cultists. I took a job that I probably should not have taken. And they came back after me. They burned my little guild hall down, killed everyone I knew and loved. So while I was kind of on the run, I ran into Andrea's character here.
Anna.
I didn't know if it was Anna or Anna. So
Anna.
Anna? Are you Anna?
Yes.
Okay, Anna. And she supplied me with poison. She works for an apothecary shop. So while she was with me, we the cultists had seen her, and we got into a little bit of a struggle and a melee. Killed some, so now she is my accomplice / partner in crime, and we were running for our lives. Yeah, and so we were just kind of on the road, trying not to get caught, trying to learn about them as we were running from them. And a little bit of kind of going back, is at one point in time my character had stolen about 100,000 gold, give or take, from Ashley's character, Violet. Yeah, so she hunted me down, she found out who I was, and she confronted me at a very, very poor time. Which kind of wrapped her into this whole thing too. So now, all three of us were on the run together. She's not leaving till she gets her gold back, so I think she's pretty much stuck to my side. And we happened to run into these two. So if you want to pick it up, you could kind of, how you got to Isil, how you ended up confronting me, and what happened from there.
Yeah, sure. I am playing Hove Roglir. I am a dwarven war priest of the god Nogrix. He's a dragon god, but you'll learn plenty about him as we play through this. I was born in a place far away from where we're starting called Nogrix Perch in the nation of Mithrain. It's a big dwarven nation, and a big cultural thing in Mithrain is this act called the Jordansang, which is a bardic college, a lot of storytelling and history keeping through song. And my family was they're very influential in the Jordansang, and
Let's backtrack a couple seconds. Go back to the Darkest War. So
the Darkest War, this big cataclysmic event happens in the Zodiac Empires setting, and that is where I meet one of my now closest friends, Raziel, right?
Yes.
Raziel? That's what I said? Okay.
Yes.
That's JP's character. And my battalion's wiped out, his battalion's wiped out, and it's all because of this figure. He's a Vantis, which is this demonic, fiendish entity that we'll get into in a little bit. And me and JP are the sole survivors of our two battalions. We work together, survive the war, and we want revenge. So we set out trying to hunt down this Vantis after this war is over, kicking down doors, cracking skulls, that sort of thing. And it leads us to Isil, where we suspect that a certain Noir is a member of the Vantis, our first meeting with Vale and the other three is we literally kick down the door, burst into an in room, and there's a big what? And they're like, I'm not working with Vantis. What are you talking about? But yeah, that's Hove's backstory, how he got there. Do you want to fill in what your first part of that was? Before you met up with me?
I'm from a military family, so the Darkest War breaking out kind of, there's some other stuff that might get posted online, but the party wouldn't necessarily know about. Military basically, so I got drafted into the Darkest War, and that's kind of what led me to Windsor Valley, and you kind of covered, am I too loud?
No, you're good.
Okay, perfect.
And that kind of how I met up with Hove, and then from there, we just wanted to get revenge for our fallen comrades, so. I am, however, I don't know that we covered this, a Vassar from Therastrix, which is, Vassar are our, I guess just a draconic race. They can fly is the big thing. I have awesome wings. I have an awesome mini without wings right here. Maybe I can get wings for them later. Therastrix as a nation, though, lives on floating moats mostly, so it makes sense to have our flying draconic race kind of come from there. But I covered most of my backstory.
And then just part of it, so them initially thinking that I was working with the cult or with the Vansis, as it were, is because Noir as a race were used as spies during the Darkest War. They were under kind of a mental control. They were created by the Vandeals, which are the big evils in our world. So there's a lot of distrust towards the Noir. A lot are probably still working towards Nefarious ends. So they would have been correct to kind of misassume that I might have been on the other side of things. But turns out I was running from it too.
I would have fought many of them during the Darkest War.
Yes, yeah. And then I don't think we went into their races or personal backstories.
No, go ahead. We'll do Ashley first.
Violet.
I'm Violet Z. Frostbloom. I'm an Amorai, which is a race that's unique to our setting. They're a humanish, matriarchal society, also known to be more psionic. I am from Silurai, which is the main area for the Amorai. I found out that my parents are worshippers of Moriskar, which is a Vandeal, a very bad Vandeal. And it freaked me out and I ran away. I'm very lawful good. I'm very naive, clearly, because someone stole all of my money. Sorry, it's okay. But after I found Vale, I pretty much have to stick with her because if I go off by myself, the Vantis is going to kill me because they think that I'm after them and I'm involved, and I want all of my money back.
As you should. Yeah. I don't know if you're going to get it, but we'll see. And then Anna?
Yep. And then I am Anna Fairwind. I am a human alchemist. I was born and raised in Bavaria. My parents were very poor. I'm actually one of the only players that isn't royalty. Noble, rather.
Nobility.
Not
Nobility.
So I was born in Bavaria to very poor farmers as parents, and then my uncle took pity on me. He runs an apothecary shop in Isilde. So soon after my sigil appeared on my left hand, he saw potential in me and wanted to take me under his wing and have me run the apothecary shop. So I stayed there, secluded from the Darkest War, didn't participate in it really because I was too young. And I helped run errands for him and take care of the apothecary shop. And then one day, I come back to the shop to find it burned down. And cultists are setting fire to it. So I'm terrified and I start running and I bump into Vale. She's getting attacked by two cultists and I managed to take down at least one of them to get a good chunk in them and kill them. And then the other one manages to escape, unfortunately. So because of that, I look to her for kind of protection and she looks to me for help. She already knew me from getting poisons for her. So yeah, that's where I kind of fit into the story.
Yep.
Do we want to go into Star Call?
Sure. Well, I guess we're going to have to go over a little bit of backstory of the world itself before we get to where we are right now. Because everybody was involved in some semblance or fashion in the Darkest War in some manner. The Darkest War started as a standard war between nations that eventually turned into a demonic incursion from the Vandeals, which are very, very powerful demonic entities, fiends. In turn, they created the Noir, which is what Rachel is playing, which it was done unwillingly against those who worship the Assyrian pantheon from Bavaria and other countries eventually. Her race is a shape changer race, but so she can change her face a lot. But originally at the time, the Vandals had psionic control over them. So they made the perfect spies for the Darkest War, and eventually the Darkest War ended, and we won barely. Barely. A lot of that history can be found on our website or in the book itself. It goes into really big depth, but other than that, the Darkest War ended 6 years ago. So for most of the party and most of the world, it's still a very recent event. Cultists are a big thing right now because of the Vandals. A lot of people had sided with them. They are not outlawed because, well, in most countries, freedom of religion is something that is fairly standard, though they can get ostracized and attacked. The Vandal, or the cultists in specific that the party is currently dealing with are Aureliat.
Arillariat.
What he said.
Hold on. We're just trying to find this page.
I believe it's Greed. I know Greed's one thing. Shadow, one of the lesser known Vandals. His cultists are not known to be actively hostile or murderous. As far as cultists go, they're kind of on the bottom rung for destructive and causing mayhem. So they're actually pretty well tolerated. They're highly connected. Lots of nobles, merchants, highly placed people where you might live could be secretly cultists of this Vandal. So probably not a sect that you want to mess around with, but also not a sect that's usually going to mess around with you. Except in my case. Congratulations, me.
Yes. You're being actively hunted by the sect of cultists, so you can't quite figure out why.
Right.
So for the last year, after the party got together in their wanton fashion, the party has traveled all across Sealed in one manner or another. And the big problem you guys are running into is that either the cultists show up and turn the city against you in some fashion, or they blackmail you and cause you to have to flee from various cities.
If you want to see where Sealed is, you can go to zodiacempires.com/map, and it's in the upper left-hand portion of the map.
Yes.
You should be able to find it.
I'll have that for the stream soon, but I'll just set that up before next time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, website's chock full of great information. Backstories.
Currently, the city has arrived, or the party has arrived in the city of Anchorage roughly 2 weeks ago, and has spent most of this time essentially just keeping a low profile. Anchorage is the largest warm water port in the city of Sealed. It is built on a series of hills overlooking a natural bay. The water itself and the weather are unseasonably warm due to currents from the Solar Sea to the south. Hold on, I have to find the thing. Whoa, where is it?
Yeah, we keep getting ran out of everywhere, so.
The water and weather in this area is unseasonably warm, and the currents created by the warm waters of the Solar Sea to the south. As the largest warm water port in Sealed, Anchorage is a bustling town of traders, merchants, ships, and caravans and soldiers. And the party is granted passage easily into the city by the sentinels who seem unconcerned with your presence. As the party stays here for the following 2 weeks and keeping a fairly low profile, eventually they are approached by a man by the name of Ulrich, who offers them a small mission for a significant sum of gold. 200 gold per person, or 100 gold if... Okay, so anyway, let's start from the beginning. He offers you the ability to... he wants you to find the Avara, a missing girl who has disappeared from the south side of the city after being kidnapped by a series of lizard folk. He offers you 200 gold for her safe return each, or 100 gold for her body and proof of her death. After the party asks him a series of questions, He offers the party 100 gold for her body, 200 gold for her safe return. She is kidnapped by lizard folk to the south, though the party doesn't quite understand why. The lizard folk are slightly unusual. One, it is the cusp of winter. It has just begun to snow recently. Lizard folk are unusual for this area due to the cold weather. You know that they are armed with bronze weaponry, which is slightly odd because it shouldn't be too difficult for them to find their own iron weaponry or anything like that. And they are clad in a motley assortment of gear that has been pilfered from other individuals. None of it quite fits them, or from the description he gave. As you follow up with farmers and sentinels in the area, the sentinels let you know that they have no time to deal with this due to the influx of Ossian worshippers and the large number of visitors from other countries, and they're just trying to keep a lid on things here. They don't have time to go and find out one individual girl who may or may not be important because the person who came to them wouldn't tell them and all this other stuff. The farmers would love for you to deal with the lizard folk because the lizard folk have been ransacking their cattle recently. However, they do not possess any monetary assortment, but they do provide you with a set of winter clothing each so you can travel and not die on your way. They also provide you with 50 trail rations. Not each, together.
Together? Okay.
Who's tracking it for the party?
I have a party fund.
I'm definitely going to keep it, but we should have double records to cross check, so I will keep track of one set of those.
I'm just going to put rations 50.
And that is the end of session 0.
Did we want to do sigils?
We could do
Oh, yeah.
Sigils.
Okay.
That's something to explain.
So
I would explain it.
within the world of Zodiac Empires, the reason it's named Zodiac Empires is because the Zodiacs every so often impart a portion of their power to certain individuals, which manifest sigils on the back of their left hands. Sigils allow you a minor form of magic, which gets significantly more powerful the more powerful the individual gets. Though it is not unusual to find somebody with a very powerful sigil who is individually non-powerful.
Like,
A farmer can get a sigil.
A farmer can get a sigil. A farmer can get a level 5 sigil, though for rules reasons, PCs have to level up to get the higher abilities. Otherwise, they'd be
I'm going
OP.
to start with the level 20 ability.
Star-called, as people who have sigils are known, are extremely important because they are not tied to what are known as the threads of fate. So what that means is that the individual in some semblance is special and can set off on their own individual paths to do whatever they want, to do pretty much anything. So essentially, adventurers in Zodiac Empires either possess a sigil or are influenced by a star-called individual, so you possess one or the other. You cannot have neither. Well, I guess if a DM wanted to run without it, they could, but it really wouldn't make any sense from a traditional standpoint of the world.
Yeah. So everyone at the table is sigiled, I believe.
Except for JP.
I am not sigiled, but I still, because it wouldn't really be fair to the rest of, like, if I don't want to be sigiled, it wouldn't be fair, I wouldn't get abilities, so we have a line for any player who is unsigiled, which is, what do we call this?
Star-called influence.
Influenced.
Yeah. It also levels up. It also grants abilities, but they're more mundane. They're not tied to anything
They're not magical in any
thematically.
way.
So, for example, for me at level 1, actually every level I'll get an additional HP.
But it keeps you on par,
Yep,
power-wise. It balances. Yeah.
Yep.
Do we want to talk about the sigils each of us have?
I think we should do each of your sigils and just say what your level 1 ability was, and then as we get them, we can explain that we just got a cool start ability.
Hove has the sigil of the Bard, which is a cruel irony since he can't sing very well at all. The sigil of the Bard at level 1, I can find it.
Page 285. Oh, you're the player's guide?
Yes.
Oh.
Select hearing. So while maintaining concentration, I'm able to block out all extraneous noise in an area and focus on one source of sound that I have line of effect to. I can hear it as if I'm in the target area. I do not take penalties for perception based on surrounding noise. So that's my level with my sigil of the Bard. In a lot of cool sound things with that.
And Anna has Sigil of the Watcher. A lot of her abilities come from like seeing things, essentially. At level 1, I have far vision. I suffer no increment penalties when firing a ranged weapon, which I carry a light crossbow, so that's helpful. The distance penalty for perception checks is also half. So.
I had a question. Does that apply since she's an alchemist for any of her thrown things?
Yes.
Like
She does not take
Negatives for throwing.
ranged increment penalties for her thrown weapon.
You were a star at shot put.
So you can throw your bomb like.
You can do like
It's
that.
50 feet is the max.
Yeah.
Because your range increments are 10, so you throw up to
You're
50
just
feet
chucking
without
bombs.
penalty.
Right.
Bomb range increment is 20.
Okay, so it's 100.
Yeah.
Wow, you
You could,
what
you could
are
whip them
we?
bombs.
You have a mean hook. So my sigil is I was on the page and then
Good job.
I know. I burn the witch. It's Isto. I know it's Isto. It is the shadow one. And so my level 1 ability is called Mold Shadow. I can create a shadow servant that functions as unseen servant indefinitely. Once per level
That
each day,
counter?
I can
Yes, you come
dispel the
down.
shadow servant to do one of the following. I can
Yes, it
basically
does.
put on a shadow shield, or I can create darkness, kind of like globe of darkness as per the spell darkness. And then I have to spend 1 minute to recreate the servant again, but otherwise he just kind of is always there. So.
You're a stinky guy.
Yep, yeah. All my abilities are really shadow based.
JP, don't
Gonna
die.
be super
If
useful
I die
for
on
me
stream,
Hey.
as a noir rogue.
Oh, you're right.
Super sneaky.
Yes.
There are things happening right now. You may see someone get injured.
Whoa,
Perfect.
better.
Perfect.
Okay.
I can't believe that went the first try.
We were doing a camera adjustment.
All right. So I hope y'all heard that.
Got you.
I was good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is Minkai. Minkai, it is the Seeker. Everything pretty much surrounding light. The animal is a fox, so I have a nice little fox on my hand. Level 1 is Brighten. A number of times per day equal to my level, I can create an area of natural light up to 10 feet per level within 100 feet. The light lasts for 1 hour and destroys magical darkness of a caster level lower than my character level.
So I just want to, I didn't realize that you had gone with this one because in a way we're sort of opposites. I create darkness, you create light. You're
Oh,
very
yeah.
naive and lawful, and I'm very not lawful and kind of not, yeah.
We
But
have-
we're friends. We're
We
balancing
have
each other.
shadow, light, sight,
See all.
sound,
BK.
Oh, we didn't do you yet, did we?
Yeah, I'm just on sigil.
Oh, yeah,
I
right.
just get
you
an extra
sigil.
HP.
My bad. Yeah,
Okay.
our hamburger.
That, I think, wraps up everything we want to cover for
Session 0.
session 0.
Okay. So you can start session 1 immediately. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this would be the cut for the podcast. We're going to continue on, separated out.
Do we want to do a sign off for this podcast?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Joe.
Alright, so that concludes session 0. If you want to find out more about Zodiac Empires, go to zodiacempires.com. Also, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Follow us there for more information on not only our stream and our podcast, but any other information about our setting. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.